Okay.
You can tell she's not here because I'm talking.
Talking smack. And now it's on record.
Damn it!
Yeah, didn't you get caught last week talking shit?
Who, me or him?
No, Mark. Was it last week or the week before?
I always get caught talking shit.
Yeah, he can't help himself. He's got diarrhea of the mouth.
I do, especially when I drink.
Okay, so brand new campaign, brand new year, brand new characters. We'll try it. We'll start a little different this time.
Oh, we're not doing halfling campaign?
Nobody's watching anyway.
What the hell?
You ruined that, buddy.
All right, so we're gonna start this new campaign, which I tentatively titled "The Sea of Fallen Stars" just because I couldn't come up with something. I was just looking at the area. I'm like, "The Sea of Fallen Stars sounds good," but I may change it. I don't know. I'm not really happy with that picture thing. Anyway, okay. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna start out. You guys are within the Kingdom of Cormyr, and actually Marsember is right on the cusp of Cormyr. It's not exactly it's considered part of Cormyr, but it's not technically under the rule of Cormyr. It has been contested over time because obviously it's a good port city. Their main export is spices, so a lot of people have tried to seize the place, but have not been successful. It is a city that is made up of different sandy islands that are connected with walkways, bridges, that sort of thing. So the bigger the island, you may have like some people living there. Like for instance, you guys are staying at a place called the Roaring Griffin, which is on one of the islands, one of the larger islands. This is a fairly nice establishment. There are 3 levels to it. The bottom floor is the bar, the dining room, like private dining room. There's a gaming area, porch and stuff. The second floor is mainly where there are rooms to rent. That's where most of you are staying, except for the Grey Hills, who are staying on the 3rd floor, the penthouse. They are staying in the best accommodations in the place, so they have really nice rooms and all that stuff. But you guys have been in Marsember for, we're going to say, at least 4 to 5 days. I'm not going to have the roll like we did last time. So. Now, I'm going to go ahead and flip you guys over to that map. And actually, let me throw you onto the map of Marsember real quick so you can see what we're looking at. Now, this map is actually should be flipped on its side. North is to the right, south is to the left. Okay, so it kind of sits there on the edge. Where you guys are, if you can look on the map at number 5, right there, that is the Roaring Griffin Inn and Tavern. Okay, so as you can see, it's a pretty large city. Now, most of the islands, the very edges are sandy beaches that are broken up obviously by a natural reef and a harbor and that kind of thing. The inner city, where you can see right where the gates are, is more of kind of dirt sand type area. There's a few sparse trees and grasses and whatnot, but mainly out in the islands, it's mostly just kind of sand, and then they packed in some dirt to give it kind of a feel of, hey, here's some grass and here's some trees and stuff, but
Coconuts.
Really, yeah, it's kind of like that. It's kind of artificial. It feels like a golfing resort in Florida. Okay. The one thing to remember is that you guys are on the edge of the Sea of Fallen Stars, but you guys are in a place that is known as the Dragonmire, not because there's dragons here, but because of a very unique feature that happens every morning. It mists up, and it mists up something terrible. You guys, in the mornings, the fishermen go out into the mists, and that's why they call it the dragon, because it's a dragon breath covering the area. The fishermen that go out in the mornings are called ghosts, at least the ghost fishermen, as you can only see their shadows as they disappear into the mists themselves. The mists usually clear up right around 9 or 10 o'clock in the morning, and it's on good days, other days it's beautiful. You're only a few, maybe less than 100 miles from Suzail, which is the capital of Cormyr. So Suzail, which is to the west of you. The trade road through Marsember on the other side takes you up to Walloon, which is another large city in Cormyr. Cormyr, which is kind of hemmed in by a mountain range called the Stormhorns. To the north of that is the Dalelands. The Dalelands being a very kind of rugged, frontier type place, but the people that come from the Dales are very hardy, very Scottish. How's that
lad.
sound? Yeah. So
I like it.
Wherever you guys are from, we'll get into that as you guys give me backgrounds for your characters. And from there, I'm going to go ahead and put you guys into the Roaring Griffin. You guys all see that?
I do.
I'm kind of proud of this map. It came out pretty good. Okay. As you guys are accommodating upstairs, you know that the bartender, who's part owner, he's not the full owner. There's another owner which you haven't seen. He's kind of like the silent owner. His name is Sully, and he's usually here. There's two waitresses, Cassandra and Penelope. That the barmaids, they usually work overlapping shifts, working together during the rush hours. And Cassandra works the night shift, and Penelope works during the day. As you can see, that it's usually crowded. If you look up to the north there, there's a private dining area. That door is usually kept shut. And then in the back, there's the halfling chef twins. You never learn their names; they're just chef, and they're usually the ones cooking. The food here is excellent, as is the libations. Two large roaring fires keep the place nice and warm in the mornings, and there is a system of pulleys that go around the ceiling that turn some ceiling fans, very large ceiling fans, which keep air circulating during the day. So this is a really nice establishment. There's other establishments here in Marsember. Most of them are run down. But the ones you have visited, they do seem to have like their own kind of, like this one has really good beer, this one has really good cheese, this one has really good bread. All of them are kind of like run down and not really taken too well care of. This one here seems to be the one that not necessarily the most popular, but has the best food, has the best drink, and actually has rooms and everything for you guys at reasonable prices. As you can see, there's a porch area where you can sit out on nice days. There's places where you can tie up your horses, horse drop, and that sort of thing. Okay. Now, as I said, just say you guys have been here for at least 4 days. Lily and Jazz, I know where you guys are coming from. This being your first adventure out, I'm not gonna run the overprotective parents yet. Okay. So for right now, you guys are on your own. If you look in your inventory, you'll check that I changed just one little detail. So that's on you guys if you want to share that with the rest of the party. If you even notice, I don't even know if you guys really notice. So what we're going to do is I'm going to start with character descriptions and backgrounds, since you guys all know each other. And then what we'll do is once we're done describing where we come from, who we are, what we look like, we'll try to decide how we all know each other. Does that sound good?
Fucking A.
Any objections?
Yeah, sounds good.
All right, so Mark, why don't you go ahead and start us off with Aran?
Come back to me.
Okay.
Thank you.
Then we'll start with Garth the Girthy.
I'm doing diaper.
Oh, gee, thanks. Okay. Are you gonna do you put the picture up or? Oh, there we are.
Of course.
Yeah. At 6'4", 380 pounds, and with a faint aroma of rendered pork.
You're gonna have a heart attack the first time you get to battle.
Thank you. Well, I'm gonna die anyway, so that was the difference. Garth is a hulk of a man, obviously. Brown hairs and eyes that match the food grease stains on his tabard. He was born in the town of Tilverton in the northern area of Cormyr. He spent his youngest days playing in the streets, as all the children did in the town, until that fateful morning when the sun was eclipsed by the shadow as the floating city of Thultanthar and its minions laid complete waste to the town. His parents were killed in the first volley, so he was scooped up by fur traders from the Stonehorn Mountains and taken there, where he grew up in the care of their tribe. As he grew, his thirst for revenge was only equaled by his hunger to gorge himself. Growing into manhood and obesity, he set out from the tribe in search of those who bring evil to the land and to slay them so he can enjoy a mighty feast over their broken bodies.
Word.
Yes.
Is that everything?
That handles it.
Okay. Ron Hill, you ready?
Yeah. Hold on one moment. Skip, I'll go next.
Okay. Haley.
Okay, so I came from, let's see, I came from a happy dell. I worked with a group of friends to save our village from trolls and monsters. We all decided to go our own ways, so I decided to come and learn more about my god and learn about more of my skills.
Left Doug and Cosmo.
What?
Yes, I left Doug and Cosmo.
No, who's your god?
Oh, Helm.
Helm, okay. So you worship Helm?
I do.
That's it?
Yes.
Okay. It's not leaving you much time there, Mark.
I'm okay. I got her down. Fresh diaper.
Okay.
Okay, Aaron. Aran Hill Valdeglarian. He is a wood elf, which is pretty amazing because I hate playing elves. He is he's from Cormyr Forest, from an elven village that no longer exists due to the denizens of the Underdark. He has spent a good portion of his early years trying to acclimate himself to the cavern world and the Underdark world, with the ultimate goal of avenging his family. He stands about 5'8". He's got a slighter build, very typical elven. Long blonde hair. His eyes are icy blue. He
doesn't sound like a wood elf.
Who doesn't?
Wood elves have brown, reddish hair, and eyes are green.
Okay. So he has.
So he's an exception to the norm.
He could be an exception, yeah, absolutely.
He's an albino wood elf.
There you go.
His father questioned his mother about a DNA test, but she refused.
You are the father.
The thing you'll notice about him mostly is he's definitely got the eyes of a hunter. He's always looking around. His head's on a swivel. Not so much from paranoia, just more picking up small details about what's going on around him.
Okay, is that it?
That's what I got for now.
All right. Quaylen.
Okay. This is
It's very serious.
Quaylen Horcus Porcus.
Nice.
He is a gnome mage. So he grew up in just the capital city of Cormyr, Suzale, I think it's called, right?
Suzale,
Am I pronouncing that
correct.
right? Suzale. So he grew up in Suzale, just close to here. He spent his early years working. Gnomes have a knack for tinkering and that sort of thing, making little clockwork stuff and kind of like engineers kind of thing. Kind of like I kind of picture like a Warcraft kind of thing with the gnomes. Sure. So he worked in his father's shop, and they were clockmakers at first. So he started doing that, making some clocks for some people, and one person took notice of him, a captain in the army, and said, this would be interesting. So he asked him if he wouldn't mind joining the army making siege engines and catapults and trebuchets for the army. So, of course, he's like, yeah, sure, why not? So he was excited to see things go boom and just destroy things. So he joined the army as a military engineer. So he'd make the siege towers, catapults, trebuchets, and things like that. So, while in the midst of doing that, since he was already part of the quote-unquote artillery, he was also approached if he wouldn't mind joining the war wizards. Cormyr has an army of the purple dragons, but also has quite a formidable army of mages as well. So he started training to do that, and that's how he got his magical training and powers. He's let me get to the actual description of him. My character sheet here. He is 3 feet tall. He is 40 pounds. His eyes are brown. His hair is black, like his picture, and he has a beard and a little beard and mustache, like any good gnome. And he does actually wear goggles from time to time.
Do like super magnify his eyes?
I'm telling you, like as a critique, I think you should do his voice like Holland, but Batman type. Like if Holland were Batman.
I'm Batman.
Yeah, that would be perfect.
You better drink lots of water if you're doing that.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, that'd be tough. Anyway, so that's kind of his background and basically what he looks like.
All right, good job, Magnus.
All right, Magnus. Gotta get to my right page.
You got a drow that wants you dead, but you know.
Timeline has been reset.
Magnus is from the Dalelands, and to be specific, he's from Shadowdale.
That's where
Grew up.
Elminster's from.
Huh?
That's
Yeah.
where Elminster's tower is.
That's where the filthy drow were too. Basically, he grew up, pretty rough and tough on the streets. His parents died at a very young age, and his brother had to take care of him. His brother was in with the organized crime, and Magnus soon took to in pit fighting to earn some extra cash. Some of the fights were rigged, which he didn't know about. And when the time came for him to throw his fight, Magnus was like, "Fuck you! I'll do it myself." So he ended up beating the shit out of the guy. See Pulp Fiction. After that, Magnus came home to find his brother had somehow committed suicide and hung himself with a bloody face and everything, and that there was a hit out on him. Magnus stuck around for a while, figuring he could do what he needed to do, and he got some of the people who were responsible, but eventually has had to leave the town. As the more damage he did, the hotter his name became. So he then took up bounty hunting while he was doing this, turning these people in and collecting money, which pissed off the people even more. So he was given an ultimatum to leave Shadowdale, which he has. He stands roughly 6'2", weighing 230 pounds. He's well defined. He has a black Celtic knot tattoo, which you can see, which goes on his chest and around the back. Strawberry blonde hair. Quite a drinker. He's very irritable. If you know him, you know he likes you, but he's just a pain in the ass. And if he doesn't know you, he'll just kick the shit out of you. Not much about small talk or anything like that. He wears silver-colored metal bracers. He has a black shirt, pants, and boots. Nothing fancy. It has a black hooded coat, not a cloak. So, and with that, he carries a spear with him and a short sword. And that is Magnus to the T, and he is always drinking or has alcohol on him.
Sounds good. Next up, Brother Tim.
Where's the music? Where's the music?
That's creepy.
I know, huh?
Mitch, you gotta have the music. There it is. Go ahead, Dish.
Boy, I gotta hear the music.
Oh, nice.
Okay, Brother Tim is from Suzelle. He's Suzelle. He spent his acolyte years in the Tower of Good Fortune. He lived there for many years, listening to stories and assisting adventurers in healing up from battles and missions and stuff like that. So he's heard a lot of good tales. So finally, he decided to go out on his own with the blessing of his mentor. To help him out on his first mission, he sent him here to Cormyr to give supplies to the local temple here, and now he's out on his own. He's about 6'2". He's a young male. He's about 6'2", about 230 pounds, stocky guy, blue eyes with red hair. Very devout. He's always looking to lend a hand to those who wish to adventure and seek a name in their life. He's all about helping the next man up and making sure that everybody has a chance to fulfill their desires and dreams in their lives, and they have that chance that they can make something of themselves. And also, he's trying to make something of himself also by spreading the good word of Tamura and blessing everyone that he can. That's pretty much it.
And you won't find this from any other guy.
Okay, on to the twins. Lily.
Question first. How close are we with these guys?
Well, I wanted at least one of them to have traveled with you. However, we haven't established that. So, is that important to your character?
Just have him pick one.
We're just wondering how much would they know about us?
Whatever you have divulged. So, nobody volunteered to travel with you, so none of these people have traveled. You guys have all met up in the past 4 days.
Yeah, I'm sure a lot of these backstories we don't know about each other. It's more just general character information.
Bingo.
Okay.
Yeah, because I wouldn't be talking about it.
Yeah, and I wouldn't be talking that my parents were slaughtered and stuff like that.
I don't think we'd be spouting off some things here.
Right.
Okay. All right. Lily is the oldest. She's average, guys, like height, weight, whatever, red hair. The strangest thing about both the twins is that they have heterochromia. So Lily's left eye is green, her right is blue. She is a rogue and just has the typical kind of, leather armor and whatever, but it would be black because her mother would have gotten it for her. And, very well made. And she has 2 rapiers, short bow, etc., typical kind of gear. She does have a tattoo on her left hand, on the wrist, and it's of a black cat. And she also has a bracelet with the symbol of Shress, which is the cat, and also the lips. She's got a flask that you see fairly often that is also engraved, and from her Uncle Bastion. And she has some really good wine, and also wearing a ring. I think I got everything.
Okay. Jazz.
And if you learned anything about them, they are daughters of adventurers who had epic, amazing, heights, and are now seeking to have their own like their parents did, and their aunt and uncle.
So yeah, everything she said. Plus, my eyes are the opposite of hers, so my right eye is green and my left is blue. She has the tattoo of the cat that anybody with the religious would know is Shress's symbol on her right wrist, so the opposite of Lily's. She's also got a bracelet with Shressa's symbol and a leather-bound bracelet with the symbol of Maliki. She's in black leather, very similar to her sister's. It's studded black leather. She has a flask that looks identical to her sister's. That's also engraved, and some good wine from Iron Pine. She has a longbow on her, and she also has a hatchet. I'm trying to think of anything else. I think that's pretty much it. They basically just want to adventure.
Does she carry the Warhammer hatchet?
Jazz.
Yes.
Yes.
Jazz has the black hair, and Lily has the red.
Yes. So their hair color's different too, but their faces are the same.
Gotcha. As far as Shress goes, Haley, this area, Cormyr especially, Shress is one of the more known gods.
Okay.
That's for the whole backstory, because most people have not.
Sense.
You're still spreading, or was still
Right.
spreading the word. But in this area, obviously, from where she originated, she's more well known.
Okay, cool. Yeah, so you'd recognize the symbols on her.
Yeah. Okay.
But yeah, she's got the Warhammer hatchet. Gotta be like Dad.
Sweet.
And Dad has determined that she needs to use them because he didn't.
Yeah. Bastion never let him use them. Okay.
Don't you let them filthy bards tell you otherwise.
Right. And you go barefoot whenever you can. Okay, so as I said, you guys have spent the past 4 days kind of, since you've been here, getting to know each other. Since all of you are adventurers, you've found a common kind of goal or niche, so to speak, and you guys have gotten kind of comfortable with each other for the past 4 days or so. This evening, you guys are sitting around your usual table. You guys have kind of claimed this. The locals have, nobody here gives you any bad looks or anything like that. You're treated with respect and friendliness. If you go to a store or whatever, there's no problems. As you guys are deciding, like, well, hey, there's 8 of us. We can really make a difference in this world or do something. But so far, there's really you've not heard of anything. The twins have set out on their own to try to make their own name. The rest of you have done pretty much the same, and as a twist of fate, all kind of come together. Now, as you guys are sitting about,
we talk about our annoying brother too.
I'm sorry, what?
Hey,
What'd you say?
We talked about our annoying brother a lot.
Yeah, your baby brother.
Mm-hmm.
I throw poop on you.
He has 8.
Yeah, he's probably about 7 or 8. He has yet to save the world from Kingdom. As you guys are sitting around discussing like what to do and stuff, Penelope has been your usual waitress. She's about to go off shift, as Cassandra is working too, as the dinner crowd moves in. You guys have been eating and drinking fairly well. Now, when she says Iron Pine, there's you guys don't know the city more than you know the wine. There's a wine called Iron Pine, and they tell you that, hey, that's where we're from, and that's where the wine is made and stuff. So you guys kind of appreciate it a little bit more to know that it's a local brew, and it's actually fairly good. Most of you guys are drinking ale and whatnot. Magnus, you drink yourself out of pocket if you had to drink wine all the time.
Exactly.
Yeah, you're basically just drinking whatever the house ale is, and just picking the mice out that float in the top of the barrel. As you guys are drinking and eating and that sort of thing, you've noticed for the past couple nights that there is another table across from you, and I'm sure you guys can see it if you pass out or you zoom out a bit. There are 4 kind of shady-looking gentlemen that have taken up residence at another table. Most of the patrons kind of leave them alone. They do look like they're adventurers as well. However, they don't appear as like varied or heavily armed as you guys. They keep to themselves. They're polite enough. They don't start anything, but they are more on lily end of the shadiness counter. There are 4 of them. One in particular is dressed just a little bit better than others. He kind of looks like this. A very handsome young man with steely blue eyes. When he does catch a female's look, he smiles and has a kind of charm about him. The others do not openly threaten people, but they don't seem like they're on the up and up like that. Possibly the entourage for that one guy, because he's dressed better than they are. They always pay their bill, they pay their respects, they're very nice and respectful. If you guys have passed them while going to the bathroom or through the doors, they're always allow the women to go first. They hold the door open and that sort of thing. Not really drawing much attention, but they are noticeable enough that you guys have seen them. Not necessarily around town, but definitely in here during the dinner rush and at night. Before the bar closes, they usually, or when it closes, they're not staying here, but they usually disappear before then. And you usually don't see them if you're out during the day. As you guys are sitting about, I'll go ahead and you guys want to. I know it's like only 10 o'clock. We're gonna take a first break, and then we'll come back and we'll do some role-playing kind of introduction type, comfortable speak. Does that sound good?
Sounds good.
All right, so let's do that.
Yep, sounds good.
Sounds
We'll
good.
come back in about 5 minutes.